Banner, Desert Financial, MHA Foundation, and some other businesses that it's very similar, the approach where they're partnering with other groups, nonprofits, and just to show that connection, to show that to the community, because it's just very positive. So I'm just we'll let it play out. 4 minutes left. We'll let it play out, and then we'll go into it.
Okay.
Because it's a good song. I don't want to interrupt the house tour, and then people are upset at saying, why don't you interrupt? Come on, I was jamming to that. There we go. Let me make sure we're up on Facebook. That'd be fun. That'd be good. I was always thinking, okay, there has to be a way to kind of work this out to where it would work for you guys. It makes sense, and to where it isn't just commercials. And that's really because we can't play commercials. They're all it's sponsorships, and we have underwriters, but there's that community aspect that's almost always brought into it, and we tell even businesses, we tell them that it really can be more, it can be more effective, but it serves a different role. I mean, if you have your commercials and everything that are hey, lowest prices, and we have this special going on, and this and that, okay, you have that, but if that's all you're putting out there, it's kind of the white noise that you mentioned before. It's just everyone's doing it.
Yep.
So what sets you apart? What's your USP? And what are you doing in the community? How are you connected to different groups in the community? Are you having an impact? And so
we want it to come across like you're having a dialogue. It's a conversation. It's not a one way. We're not dictating information. We want to have a conversation, make the community feel like they're a part of this, and they have a voice in the room, so to speak, to share their thoughts and ideas, kind of a concept, and allow us then to turn around and say, okay, during these spots, hey, here's what's going on, here's what we're doing, let me update you, so they don't just feel again like they're being dictated to. They're hearing a conversation. You get much more engaged in a conversation and dialogue, right? The logic's there. You feel the relationship, and that's really more what we're trying to achieve. So it's a pretty exciting concept for us.
The other thing I was going to say is if you ever have a last minute cancellation, we have so much we could talk about. If I can make it work, call me. I will do anything I can to try to help you fill a spot if you have a last minute need.
It was funny. There was this one which kind of not super last minute, but it did open up, and then when you contacted me and said, hey, we're going to be here, I'm like, wow,
that'll work.
Serendipitous. It's on Tuesday, and that's when we have that opening. Usually we, we're pretty booked out, and it's good. And the other thing we like is just having a nice variety of people and organizations and topics. Next week we have someone coming in, a former Major League Baseball player that's doing a baseball camp up here.
Oh, cool.
And they're now residents, him and his wife, and it's going to be an ongoing thing.
Who is it?
Michael, I forget his last name, but he played with the Dodgers.
Okay.
I forget his last name.
Okay.
Yeah. But
that's cool.
Yeah, and he was a college coach for I don't know how many years, 20 years plus when he got out of the major leagues in California, and it's just so cool, what he's doing now in this community and how it'll help our programs and so on. Yeah, all right. was Al Stewart with Song on the Radio. This is Chris Higgins in the studio, and hey, we played a little song before the Community Spotlight to kind of get you guys in the mood for Community Spotlight this morning, brought to you by Desert Financial Credit Union. A big thank you to them for sponsoring this program. In the studio this morning, I have Janet Dean and Neil Traver, both from APS. And good morning. How are you doing, guys?
Good morning, Chris. I'm doing great. Thanks for having us.
Oh, thank you for coming in. It's great to find out what APS is up to. A lot of work has been done here in RIM country. A lot of people, noticing that. So it's, great to find out, what that is providing, and what that changes here in RIM country, because seems like things are always changing.
That's for sure. The one constant is change, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for us, we're constantly focused on a couple of things, but one very key thing is reliability for our customers.
Mm-hmm.
And so we wanted to give a quick update today on some projects that have been going on in the area that are designed to increase reliability and make sure that our customers have power when they need it. When they want to flip their lights on, the power comes on. So that's what we've been doing. And one of the key projects that just wrapped up is a rebuild of the line between Payson and Pine.
Mm-hmm.
And that included replacing 180 poles, about half of those by helicopter. So I'm sure people in the area saw that.
Mm-hmm.
We know it caused some traffic impacts along 87 because we were trying to do that, and we were doing it in a very safe manner, but we had to stop traffic a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And we really just want to thank everyone in the area, the people that travel between Payson and Pine regularly, the visitors to the area who probably aren't listening, but maybe. But we just want to thank them for their patience, because we would have those intermittent 15-minute stops, pilot cars, as we were working there right by the road.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really important to us that we did that in cooperation with ADOT.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also want to thank some of the customers, East Verde Estates, Flowing Springs, I think
That's
I have
right.
that name,
Mhm.
those areas, because they did have a couple of planned outages while we connected the new system, the infrastructure.
Mhm.
So we just want to thank everybody for their patience, because we're excited to finish the project and to
Mhm.
be able to have increased reliability, and then also some, just a stronger grid in the region.
Mm-hmm. And that is great. I don't know anybody that would be upset with increased reliability when it comes to their power. So, that's a wonderful thing.
That's right. And we also have a couple other projects that we're doing
Mhm.
in RIM country that we're very excited about. For example, I've got another power line that goes in between Payson out to the Forest Lakes area and
Mhm.
the Young area. And that
Mhm.
power line, we're doing something similar where we're reconductoring that, meaning we're pulling down some of the older wire
Mm-hmm.
and putting up new wire and stabilizing that line a little bit to try and increase the reliability in that region as well.
Mm.
In addition to that, we're putting in the system out near Forest Lakes and Young what we call a microgrid, which is a self-sustained generator, so that
Mhm.
if something does happen in the power lines, we can kick those generators on and hopefully pick up the power to both Young and Forest Lakes in case of an outage. So that's a pretty exciting project for us as well.
Wow, are those pretty common in rural areas?
I would say they're becoming more common. It's
Okay.
been something that's kind of been kicked off by what I would say the green world that we're going towards, and
Okay.
trying to become more efficient in what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And again, at the end of the day, for us, it's a reliability thing. We really want
Yes.
to take care of our customers in RIM country. They're really important to us. Keeping the power on and being in a safe manner is the right thing. So if I have a power line that's down in between Payson and Young,
Mm-hmm.
we can't get the power back on sometimes. Let's say there's snow or trees that are down on the lines. It's going to take a while.
Mm-hmm.
So now what I can do is I can de-energize that entire line,
Yes.
avoid having a fire issue or a safety issue,
Mm-hmm.
kick on that generator in those regions, pick up those customers, and allow my crews to go in the daylight when it's safe and go fix those power lines.
That is really cool, like a regional backup generator.
That's right, yeah.
Oh,
And so we're
wow.
working on getting the one in Young finished this summer.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll start in this fall on the one up in Forest Lakes,
Okay.
and hope to have that in either at the end of the year this year or
Mhm.
early next year up there in Forest Lakes.
Wow, that is a great benefit to all the residents
Yeah,
in
really
those
exciting
areas.
for us.
Absolutely.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
so that is good. So increased reliability, backup you know, power in these different areas. I think there's also been a lot done with fire mitigation by APS, hasn't there?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. You know, Neil mentioned we've mentioned safety, we've mentioned reliability. Safety is also one of our key tenets at APS. And we know that with an electrical infrastructure, you know, poles, wires going through forested areas, I think everyone knows there's a bit of a risk with that. We've seen it in California, but this is something APS realized many years ago, prior to what we have seen happen in California. And we started working towards having a very robust, strong fire mitigation program. And it's something we work year round on. We have a fire mitigation team that guides everyone in the company on how we approach this. And we're looking at things like, you know, vegetation management, line patrols before each fire season really kicks off. And that's hard to say because fire season seems to be year round now. We've seen a couple fires in Arizona already this year. But we're patrolling our lines, we're fixing any issues we might find on an annual basis. We are clearing space, defensible space around our poles that might have infrastructure on them or equipment on them that could spark. You know, that inherent risk we talked about. So we're making sure we have defensible space around that. So if there is a spark, it lands in something that won't burn, you know, that can't burn. So that's something we are doing constantly. And then we have some procedures we put into place during really heightened fire season, fire risk times, where if we do have one of those outages, which we hate to have them, but if there is an outage from lightning or wind or whatever it might be, instead of having our system automatically try to restart itself, we turn all that equipment off that's on our lines because we don't want it trying to restart itself if there's a risk. So until we get our guys out, as Neil said, patrolling the line, finding out what might have caused it, or not finding an issue. And that sometimes happens too. But what that could mean for our customers is during heightened fire season, fire risk time, we might have more prolonged outages. And we want them to understand that it's for safety purposes.
Yes, it's not just because, but there's a very, very good reason that it is slightly prolonged.
Right, and the people we talk to about this, everyone that I've had this conversation with is like, absolutely, let's be safe, let's keep our forest. We live in this most amazing rim country area where we're surrounded by this beautiful, beautiful pine forest. We don't want to lose that. So people are like, hey, if my power's got to be out for an extra hour, 2 hours, something like that, so we can ensure that we don't cause fires or have a problem out there and lose this beautiful region we live in, let's do this. So it's been very well accepted. It's been something we've been doing for a few years. Is it challenging to have an outage? Yes, it is, but it's the right answer. And I wouldn't say the system's perfect. Mother Nature always has its challenges for us. I would say, you know, a good point of that is today we've got high wind a high wind advisory throughout several of the counties in the region. And the wind can and does at times impact our system. Recently we just had all along the rim a big windstorm 2 weekends ago where the wind came in and caught a bunch of trees, and I think at one point we had 24 different areas where trees had blown through or into our system, and we had to go out and remove that. So today's a perfect example that there's potential for something like that to happen again. So the system's not perfect, but we do want to discuss about what we can do to prepare for those outages before they happen.
Gotcha, and just want to say hello, Randy Roberson, our news director here at KRIM. He's watching down in Tonto Basin, and his comment, I just need to read to you. He says, I get a charge out of APS. Good people doing good work.
Thanks, Randy.
So, yeah, Randy always has the good little puns, funny comments there. Yeah, and again, if you're listening on the radio, know that you can watch the KRIM Community Spotlight on the KRIM FM Facebook page or YouTube channel, KRIM 96.3 FM. And it's a great opportunity if you have a comment, a question, you can post that right on the live feed. So power outages, I'm going to guess, is the number one cause weather related for power outages?
Yeah, especially in this region, more than anything else, weather. So high winds are always a challenge. Again, we blow trees through the lines, or some other form of impact. Lightning strikes are very impactful. All along the rim, as you can imagine, storms building up and going up the rim, and just as they catch the rim, that's where we get a lot of lightning strikes through the system. And then snow snow load will actually impact our system as well. So those are probably the three biggest, but in general, yes, weather is our big impact to our system. And that's kind of where, I think we have an opportunity today to share some of the things. What can we do since we live in this region? And we have amazing, reliable power, truly we do. But when they do happen, how can we prepare beforehand, and what to do once the outage occurs? So,
yeah, so some helpful tips.
Definitely some helpful tips. And really what we want our customers to know is we are working constantly on making sure we communicate with them during an outage, and we're putting into place a lot of different ways that our customers can communicate with us. So they can sign up for text alerts, they can sign up for email alerts, they can sign up, they can go to our outage map where we track our outages and put updates onto our map. And so their cell phone is a great tool there, and it's not just getting texts and outage alerts from us, but if they download our app, they can check their energy usage, they can see their bill. So there's a lot they can do, and it's really important to us that our customers do that, because we do want to be able to communicate with them during an outage. The other thing that we are trying to do is we're trying to automatically enroll our customers into text alerts. But we are only so good as the information we have in our system about our customers. So we encourage everyone to go into your account and make sure that we've got your accurate cell phone number or email so that we can communicate with you during outages. So that's really important.
I know the power outage map, the maps are great, and whenever we try to stay up to date or know when there's an outage, and a lot of times listeners or people that follow us on Facebook will message us or say, hey, there's an outage here, and so we can go to the page and then share that on our page. But it's very helpful, and I think it is reassuring to customers to just have that information. To know, okay, this is the expected time frame. They know, first of all, the APS is aware of it. They know that there is an outage, and then an estimated time frame on when power will be reconnected.
Yeah, it's an amazing tool. We like customers to use it. One thing I would want customers to know is when it's really important that customers call us, because our system, we have a lot of things built into our system, but we don't always know when they're out of power. So it is important not to assume that your neighbor called it in or we knew because of something on our system. Please call it in, because as we get those calls, that helps us scope the perimeter, the perimeter of the outage, and understand where it might be, and it helps our guys get into the field and you begin the process of identifying what might have caused the outage. So it's really important customers call us or report it through our website. But when they do see an outage on the map, we also want them to know that initially our first estimated time of restoration is kind of based on an average of how long it might take us in a more rural area like Payson to respond and repair. It could be much shorter if our troubleman gets there and finds something that he can fix on his own without calling out a crew. But we can also have to push those times out based on what is found in the field. So as an outage progresses, those ETRs get more and more honed in to what we really expect. So that first one is an estimate, and oftentimes we beat it by a lot. But every now and then we do have to push it out.
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed probably in the last couple years or so, that those outages, the estimated time of reestablishing restoration is it does happen sooner. It happens sooner. So boy, that's always a good thing when you kind of under-promise, over-deliver.
Yeah,
we like that.
Yeah.
That's definitely something we've been focusing on over the last several years, is making our outage map more user-friendly, easier to access, and getting better data into the system.
Gotcha.
For example, recently we've just put a new feature into it where if we've got a big storm or something going and we've got a lot of impact to our system,
Yes.
we'll try and get photographs of that up on the outage map. So if you click on the outage that's near your home,
Mm-hmm.
there may be a little link on there that says look at the photos, and you can click on the photos and you can even see, oh, I can see the guys, there's pictures of them out there. There's a tree in the line,
Trees
or there's
down.
wire down, and things like that. And so it's just getting better and better. We're trying to really connect and help our customers know when's the power out, when's the power going to be back on. And so Janet hit on something really important earlier about calling in and letting us know. Don't assume we know your power's out. If it's out, feel free to call. You're not gonna, we'd rather have 100 calls than only one, so to speak. That helps us find out better where the outage might be, the cause of the outage. And if you see wire down, or if you see an actual system that looks like it's not operating properly, don't go anywhere near it. Just call in and let us know. We'll get out there and take care of it. We want to make sure that nobody gets in harm's way.
And in those situations, if you do see wire down, 911's the first call, and then us too, because if it is a live wire, we want first responders there protecting the community until we can respond.
No, that is very important.
Yeah.
So are there other tips for preparing or during an outage
Yeah.
that you can put out there?
And they might seem a little bit common sense, but it's always good to remind people, make sure you have flashlights on hand with fresh batteries. Exactly, kind of an outage kit. So, know how you have some bottled water if you rely on electricity like I do at my house to pump my water. Make sure you have some fresh water. First aid kit, just anything, battery powered radio, anything like that you might need, go ahead and put it into an outage or emergency kit that you can use if you need it. We already talked about, make sure you've already downloaded our app or signed up for our text alerts. Something that's really important, if you rely on life-sustaining medical equipment that needs power, make sure you've registered with us, because we have we'll watch that, and we alert our crews if we have medical customers that are impacted by an outage. So it helps us with prioritization, and if it's going to be an extended outage, we'll check in with folks. So that's important.
I know something that has become more and more popular because of people utilizing cell phones, tablets, electronic devices, are the little bit larger battery packs.
That's right.
That you can keep charged up, and then during a power outage, if your phone's low on power, or a tablet or a laptop, you can use that to power those devices.
Yeah,
that's correct. Yeah, that's a very good one.
Yeah. So this afternoon, or today and tomorrow, you had mentioned that there are some high winds that are coming through.
Yes.
Hopefully they do not wreak the same havoc as the previous winds did a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I would say the outages or the windstorm that we had 2 weeks ago was an anomaly. I've been doing this for a long time, and that's the worst I've ever seen as far as wind impact to our infrastructure around Rim country. So pretty rare that kind of stuff happens, but it does come to fruition, and hopefully today we'll keep our fingers crossed, knock on wood, whatever you want to say, and really hope that there's no impacts to our system at all. We've spent a lot of time and effort in and around this community over the last several years, making our system more reliable and building and maintaining our system more so than we ever have. And it's just something that we're really, really focused on right now, to try and improve reliability to help our customers.
And now you also have some APS assistance programs that you wanted to just mention briefly.
Yes. So we're going to shift tracks a little bit, but it is a little bit connected, because I just talked about if you require life-sustaining medical equipment. But one of the things that we are incredibly focused on is assistance for our customers, helping our customers who might be experiencing some sort of hardship pay their bill. And we've got multiple ways to do that. The first one I want to mention is we call it our Energy Support Program. And it is a financial need-based program for customers who might be at 200% of the poverty level. But if they qualify financially, they can get 25% off their monthly bill. And
Wow.
they can, and we work with a lot of different partners to try to connect our customers to that program. We work with DES, we work with Gila County Community Services, Salvation Army, just a variety of different providers that help us connect our customers. But customers can always just sign up directly through our website.
Okay.
It is income verified. It's based on monthly household income.
Okay.
But what's really great and has really seen us raise the numbers of customers who are connecting to that program is we have a partnership that's about a year and a half old with DES. And if someone goes to DES to qualify for some of